What's up, guys? So today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to draw dragons. So to start off, I usually draw a circle and then I added my guidelines so I know which way that it's going to face. So the first one you see there is a 3/4 view, and then the second one is a side view, and that one, last one, is a front view. So after I finish up with the simple circle, of course, then I end up drawing a little rectangular shapes around it, sculpting the actual face and muzzle of what the dragon will look like. It's basically just like a big old rectangle, or like a box, a slanted box kind of, depending on how your dragon is gonna look. It can be thin or thick or short or long. And so then after I do that, then I add in my eyes, which are going to go on either side, like both sides of the guideline middle line, as you can see there. And then I connect the muzzle from the eye, and then I continue to sculpt down from there. And I might add in the nostril, like just whenever, it doesn't matter. And then I add in the jawline and finish off the shape of the head, as you can see me doing there for the 3/4 view. Then I'm going to do that for the rest of these drawings, where you'll see me draw the eye, and then I will sculpt out the rest of the muzzle shape. And now that I am done detailing these dragons, that's the finished look for like a simple sketch. So now I'm gonna move on to showing you guys how to do full body dragons. Of course, as you know, dragons are very fluid creatures. There's a lot of room for creativity since they're not actual living things. They're just something made up. So for example, what I'm doing right now is I'm drawing a little easy sketch of a Eastern dragon. It's a Chinese dragon, and as some of y'all would probably know, they're basically long noodles, and their bodies can go any which way. They don't have wings, and they just float there. They usually have 4 legs. They're short, and they don't really... Well, I mean, I guess they do walk, but, you know. We're gonna ignore whatever I just drew there and move on from that. But this is like a simple quote-unquote standard dragon pose, I guess you could say, where you're gonna have like it just standing on 4 legs with wings, like your standard dragon, if you want to call it that. So basically, I of course start with my head, and then I add my little squiggly neckline. Then I'm gonna just make up whatever pose that I want. It helps to like reference animals. Like I started out drawing wolves, so a lot of my anatomy is gonna be kind of wolf-like, I guess, because that's just the muscle memory I have. But like referencing animals like a wolf jumping, or a horse, or a snake, or lizards, like that really helps you get the gist of anatomy. Like for claws, you could reference like bird claws and talons, because they're kind of similar to how a lot of people draw dragons. And like just the whole vibes of referencing nature to help you. But now I'm going to show you how to draw an actual, like, dragon design instead of just little doodles. So, of course, I'm going to start out with my circle for a head. And then I'm going to add in the muzzle, my little rectangle there. This dragon isn't going to have, like, a nose bridge, so I'm just leaving it the way it is. And then I'm moving on to my neck. So when I do full bodies, I start out with the body. And then I go back and I do the detailing, like the eyes and the horns and the wings and all of that. So basically the neck, as I've been saying, is basically an S shape. And then I draw in little circles for the chest and the hind legs, and then round it out and connect it with usually curved lines. The little lump in the back is for the hind leg, and I'm just kind of trying to map out a rib cage-ish like shape for you guys to see. And then just a simple squiggly line for the tail. So, legs. Basically, it's made up of, like, rectangles and circles and, just ovals, basically. So, like, the thigh is just one giant oval. And then for my little ball joints, or not ball joints, but my little joints, I use a little circle. And then the rest of it is just, like, the lower part of the leg is a flared out triangle with a little, I guess you could call it a hoof shape for a rough sketch of a paw or claw, talon, whatever you want to call it. And then from the front line, the front leg, it's again like an oval shape, but this time it has triangles for the muscle and stuff. And then, of course, there's the shoulder joint, the lower leg joint, and then the lines that connect it all together. And then your little hoof paw in place of your actual talon for right now. And so then for the second leg, I'm actually going to have it raised off the ground just to give it, like, just to add in a little different, instead of just having it stay on the ground. Of course, you can see where the arm is, and then the little circle joint for the elbow, and then the rough sketch out, like, of a paw shape-ish, kind of. Then for the second hind leg, I have been struggling with it, like, a lot, kind of. It's just kind of hard. You have to practice it a lot, I guess. I don't know, that might just be me. But it's basically the same gist as all the other legs. You draw out your circles and your lines and your boxes, and then, yeah. It helps to reference animals. Definitely helps, since since dragons are basically animals. It helps to get a gist for the anatomy. And then for the wings, what I do is I start from the shoulder, and I draw my lines out to just map out the general gist of the wings, adding my little circles again for the joints, the small joints, and then just mapping it all out from there. I go back eventually and I make the lines thicker. Well, not the lines, but, like, I actually give a body to the wings instead of just having them be, like, these stupid thin lines. And I, like, thicken them up. And as you can see, they're thicker where the joints are, because that's just a stylistic choice for me. Like, you don't have to do that, but that's what I do usually, because it's, like, where a joint is, and it wouldn't just be the same size as the rest of the wing, you know? But then I'm gonna finish out the tail shape and thicken it up and make it look like an actual tail and connect that to the rest of the body. And that's basically it. And now you'll see me just doing my details and adding in, like, eyes, horns, scales, and all of that fun stuff that you get to do once you're done. And yeah, that's basically how I draw dragons. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you want me to do any more tutorials in the future or anything like that, feel free to ask me, and I will do my best. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you.